Okay, a bit of an update on the giveaway. This one here is off to America, Pennsylvania, I believe. So Hosebone was a winner. I've contacted both the winners and asked if they like their names etched into them. So Hosebone, he wanted Hazy, so I've also put mine in there as well. And Raymond is from Australia, up in Queensland. So I actually spoke to him on the phone, had a great conversation, and he liked his name etched in there as well. So these are done. These will be in the mail today, and I've gave him a good smear of whale oil, just sort of lathered it in there heaps. So because I use salt water solution, I am a little bit concerned that when this one gets to America, it may have like I've cleaned it off, I've tried to neutralise it as best I can. I'll give it another dose of whale oil before it goes in the parcel, like in the post. I just hope it doesn't decide to get a little bit of corrosion on it, but if it does, just got to put it in his lathe and run a bit of Scotch-Brite over it, and it'll clean it back up again. So I do apologise, Hazy, if that does happen, but it's sort of out of my control once it goes in the post, mate. But yeah, I've done my best to neutralise it. Yeah, so bit of an update. These guys were absolutely stoked that they won, and yeah, hopefully do another giveaway shortly. Bit of fingers crossed. G'day and welcome back. I've been asked if I can make one of these. It's the end off a hydraulic cylinder. The chap who owns it he does mulching and contract slashing and all that sort of stuff. This is off the ramps that go onto the back of his truck. There is a few reasons why this broke initially. Geometry of the way the ramps and cylinders are set up is wrong. The cylinders are actually bottoming out and all the way it's going into the eye. They tried to buy some new cylinders apparently. Can't get them quick enough to get them back going again. So they've asked if I can make a new end cap. The first plan was we're just going to, make up a new eye and cut it off, new eye, and weld it on, but being cast iron and it's been brazed up before, didn't last apparently. Well, obviously it didn't last. So what I've done is I tried to buy a piece of round material big enough to make the whole thing as one piece. I couldn't buy it. Would have had to order it in, which is a couple of days. So I managed to grab some 50mm plate. So basically going to build in two pieces, and they're going to weld it together. It sounds a bit wild, but it should work. So I've got a scribe line through here, which is 50mm or 49.5, basically from the table to the top of this fitting where this union goes in. So that's going to be one piece, and then obviously the piece on the top takes the pin. Now they've opted not to use a bush. They're just going to go straight for the 1 3/4 hole in the eye. Not worrying about a bush. It'll have a grease nipple port obviously, but they want to get as much meat as they can and not worry about a bush. They said, it goes up twice a day. It's not as if it's going to wear out in the next couple of years. So make it as strong as we can. If they do decide to get different, like new cylinders, they've got a good spare one. It's not much to it, but there is a bit to it, if that sounds right. It's not going to be a 5-minute build, so they're trying to get this going as quick as possible because he's on a job now and he needs the machines moved. So I don't know. Yeah, it's just going to be one of them, try and get in, get it out, get it done for him. I will do my best to film as much as I can and have a crack at it. Right, this material was the only piece I could get in town, which was 50mm. It was off a free roll off a grader. It was a mounts that they bent. It was a pretty ordinary bit of material, but you see it's been arc gouged where they cut the bits and pieces off it. See this cut through here? I started cutting on my bandsaw and then broke the blade. And I knew the blade was getting pretty knackered, but like normal, thought I had a spare one, but only had an empty bag. I ended up having to ask a mate to borrow his big bandsaw, and we cut it up there. So hopefully I can get it out of this piece and the other piece I've got, and I don't make a mistake, because we're screwed if I do. First thing is to cut this down, make it square. It's going to make lining it all up a hell of a lot easier. We're far off with a rough setup to start with. It's not bad, eh? Got to put the round feature in here that holds the seals that the main tube slips over and seals up against. The circle in the middle is 88.7. I don't have any metric mics that big, so I'm going to have to do it in imperial, and it's got to be 15mm deep. So got a bit of material to remove. We're definitely going to get rid of that. That's a pain in the ass. It's a bit hard in there too. Got another 5mm to go. I'll bring it back when I'm getting closer than that. Okay, I've just spun that around to the TNGG insert. 7.5 thou cut to come off. I just want to get into that corner. Don't think it's going to hurt it. There's a little tiny mark on it there with a bit of swarf got caught in the back of the tool. I'll see what I can do with it. Well, I got it. Really fantastic. Now I have to put a groove in this face here to take the two seals. There's an O-ring seal and a flat type seal that sits in there. Just got to break them edges now with a fine file. Oh, I've got to do a recess on the inside here too. Okay, I got this centre done. Now I didn't record it much because I had bought this, I can't see it, a boring bar, don't know, but yeah, and I had trouble seeing in there myself, let alone having the camera in the way, so this can come back out, go back over into the mill, pick up on centre and use a DRA to put in the 458 holes. I had to go back in and open this groove up. I only went half the depth of what I needed to be, so lucky I caught it when I did. So that's done now. Okay, I'll jump forward a bit here. I've gone into the DRO. I've worked out what the PCD is pretty wildly, so I hope it's right. And I've gone in and pre-drilled the holes for a 5/8. Okay, so what you see me do there is reduce this side. In this section here in the middle, like this is going to be repeated on this side over here. This section in the middle is where the eye is going to get welded onto. So the eye is going to go along here. Rightio. Well, I've got the block to square. Centers, it's all lined up with this center hole, center mark here. You can see a ring here, hopefully. Another ring, and then two partial. So these corners have got to come off. It's going to leave a flat on the top, which is good because I can put the grease nipple in there. 1.75" hole, just over 1.75". The rest of it, all this outer proportion from this ring outwards, is going to be reduced down. So the total thickness in the end is 41mm. So basically, that's, if you can't see the scribe lines, there's the hole in the middle, then a bit of a boss, then this all outside here is going to be reduced down in size. This ring here, or this one here, will remain what it is now, 50mm, because that's what the original one is. Now that hole's through there. When I flip this part around, I can use the hole to pick up on the center again. Okay, that feature there is done. Now I've got to open this bore up to 1.75". Okay, doing the last 10th hour pass. Okay, that bore, just measured it. They requested a couple of thou over a 1.75 inches, so I got it at 1 inch 756. What I've decided I'm going to do is, instead of setting up the rotary table and putting an arc on the top, I'm just going to knock these two corners off. These guys want it back as quick as they can. So if I had the time, you'd put a proper radius on it, but okay, that was the first side done. Just flipped it over. Simply used an angle box. Plenty close enough for what it's doing. It's only, yeah, it's only for appearance and clearance. But yeah, so knock this one down to the line and then grease nipple in through here then. Yeah, I will apologise for the time lapses in this video. Okay, so what I'm doing now is the weld prep. So I've done this side. I am going to put on each end as well. Okay, we've got to put a grease nipple port in this, so 5mm drill, and then I'll open it up for a 1/8 NPT. Chamfer is probably a touch heavy, but oh well, that's life. Well, as far as I'm concerned, that part is complete. That ain't going to get any more. Weld prep's on. It's not the best finishes, not the finishes that I certainly like to leave, but hey, they're not worried, they're in a hurry, they just want it. So, well, it's certainly been 5 minutes since you've seen the mill drill in action. I haven't missed using it just quietly either. This hole here has to be opened up to 19mm to a depth of about 45. That's going to have the thread put in for the fitting. Then it's got to have a hole put in here for the oil to come through into the cylinder. Okay, I've got to tap this hole now. I'm going to be using this. So I need all the help I can get, because this tap is a borrowed tap that the guys found. Has got a crook tooth on it, or 2 crook teeth, and I hate tapping big holes, because when they break you got big problem. It's my least favourite part of doing anything is tapping the hole. And you know why I hate doing this? Because when you're tapping holes, normally right at the end of the job is where everything goes pear-shaped. Well, we got that done. I'm not going to worry about putting a recess in the top. I will run the fly cutter, I think, over this very, very lightly. There is a mark there from the jaw when I was in the lathe, and I'll use that face for that seal. Don't that just look absolutely mint? Okay, we've got to drill the port now to match up with this hole here so the oil can get through. I'm going to drill it out, then I'm going to open it up with a 3/4 end mill. And lined up absolutely beautiful. Well, there we go. That's the first hydraulic eye that I've ever made. And it's a shame it's not in one piece. Shame I had to make it in 2. Yet it is what it is. They can come and pick this up now and yeah, get it welded and then put it back on the truck and go and shift their machine again, which would be good because they're waiting on it. That was a good build. It was wasn't real easy. I know that because I'd never made anything like this before, and having to make it in 2 bits certainly put a twist on it. And that piece of plate I got, that wasn't the easiest to work with. But we got it done. They're happy. Well, they haven't seen it yet, but they said they were happy. And they can get it back to work. And then I can get inside and keep editing this video because it's 4:30 on a Thursday afternoon and the video ain't going to be out on time this week. So I do apologise, guys. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that video. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time. Hooroo.